Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our series on Lego ideas. We already built the main body and head of the character. Now we're looking at the arm, which is a task in and of itself. And I've thought about this a lot. I've experimented a little bit. I think I've come up with the right way of doing this. What I need to do first is I need to create a sketch, which I already did when I was experimenting. I'll do this again, just right here, because I need to get a sense of size here. So I'm going to create a sketch on here, on the side, and project the geometry of that. So I have basically that rectangle. Now we're going to copy this sketch. I'm going to start a new part. Studio and sketch, I think on the right. It won't really matter because we're going to assemble this. And I'll hide some planes other than the one I am working on. View normal to the sketch plane. Now I'm going to paste this sketch. There we go. Doesn't really matter where it goes, although I guess I could hook that up to there. Let's make a coincident constraint just so that I know where I'm going here. There we go. And now I have this size to be able to relate to. Now I'm going to make this instruction lines because I'm just using it as a size reference to build the arm. Now, taking a look at the arm, of this, is I'm going to not do this rounded part. I'm going to do a sweep here with an ellipse for this part of the arm. Then we're going to do a circle down here and we'll loft them together. So it looks to me like that's about a 45-degree bend. So, and it starts, if there were a center point there, it would be about a third of the way down on this rectangle, and the end is a little bit up. So let's go back to our part studio, and we're going to go and mimic that. We'll go about a third of the way down, go out, and then we'll go almost to the bottom. Now, I think I want this point to be a little more like that. And then I'm going to dimension the angle to be what I thought it was. 135 degrees is 180 minus 45. There we go. And I think that's going to work out about right. All right, so now that I know what size this is going to be, I'm going to fillet this to give it a little bit of a natural curve there. Let's see how that looks. I think that's going to look okay. All right, now this is going to be a little tricky. We're going to see how it goes. First thing I want to do is I want to put a plane normal to this point and perpendicular to that. Boy, it made a big old humongous plane. That's okay. And now we're going to view normal to this plane. Whoops. Oh, okay. Oh, I want to make that plane. Okay, now I'm going to sketch on the plane and view normal to. Okay, so we're seeing that. Now, it's a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to tilt it just a little bit because I do want to see what I'm doing here. I'm going to make an ellipse. So I'm going to get close to perpendicular, but not quite, so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to hook up to that end point. Come out. I want to come about to there. Okay, and then I want to look at it again, see if it looks about right. It looks a little big, maybe. So maybe I can reduce the size of that just a tad. Whoops, I made another ellipse. That is not what I wanted to do. Where's my delete? Oh, delete sketch entity. All right, let's try this again. That's going to be about right. Now, you'll notice that the arm is not totally elliptical. It kind of gets flat here. So I think what I will do is I'll make a couple of lines that come off. No, I don't want to be a little bit of an angle here. All right. Now do a couple things just to make sure I'm staying even. Do a horizontal or a vertical constraint between the midpoint of this line. And again, I'm going to have to put a point there. And we'll do a vertical constraint between this point and that. Oh my. I don't know what the heck just happened there. Let me see if I can fix that a little. Wow. Oh, I know what happened. I'm going to undo that. Well, look at this. This is an interesting lesson. Because look at the way the words go on the view cube. This is actually vertical, not horizontal. So I want to make a horizontal constraint between this point and that point. There we go. And then I'm going to make these two equal. So you do have to look at your view cube sometimes. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, I made those equal to each other. Now I'm going to make some tangent constraints between this and that, and this and that. Okay, we're starting to look good. Maybe drag this down just a little. And now make some small fillets here and here. Whoa, I don't know what just happened. Let me try that again with a fillet from that point to that point. Wow. I'm not sure why it's making that. That's interesting. Whoops. Let's redo. Oh no. Oh no. So that fillet ruined everything that I just did. All right. I'm going to pause the video for a moment and redo what I was just working on. And then we'll get back to it. See, it's frustrating sometimes for me. All right, so back to the point where I started here. Now, I'm not sure. Boy, that does not look tangent. Let me try that again. That tangent to that. There we go. I'm having problems with this fillet. So I think what I'll do is I'll go back and do that after I'm done. Could have drawn another ellipse or done something weird or drawn an arc. But I think I'll stick with that. All right, so I need to make sure it looks about the way I think it should. Well, that looks pretty good. It looks about the right size. I can go back and adjust it later. And now I'm going to extrude. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude that and that little part right there. But I'm only going to extrude up to a vertex. Can I go to there? There we go. That's the point that I want to go to. All right. Good. Now, I need my sketch back on. I'm going to need to do that. Sketch 1. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and fillet those edges now in the solid. That's way too much. So let's try 0.02. See how that looks. Just so it rounds it just a little bit. Now that is hardly at all. Well, no, that looks like it's probably going to be about right. Maybe 0.04. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's getting a little more like it. Now I'm going to go. Sometimes you just have to play around with it till you get it the way you want it. There we go. I like that. Do that on both sides. There we go. Okay, I like the way that's looking. Let's go back to 0.04. So it's a little more rounded. All right. All right, good. So that's looking about right. Now, all yellow. What's going on with that? All right, cool. I think I can turn off this plane now because I'm going to need another one. So I'm going to turn off the visibility of that plane. Now I'm going to make a plane on the other side, and I'm going to make that circle a little bit less than this whole distance right here. So let's measure this distance from about that point to about that point. So that's 0.217. So I'll make my circle maybe about like 0.18-ish, something like that. All right. And so I'm going to do another plane. And we're going to do another point normal plane. We're going to put it on that point perpendicular to that line. And again, it should give us that, which it does. And we're going to sketch on this plane. And we're going to draw a circle. I think I can just click C on that point. And we said we were going to make it 0.18. Let's adjust it later if I want to. Take a look at what that looks like. Looks a little bigger than I think I'm going to want it to be at the end. Let's try 0.15. No, 0.16. All right. I think that's going to work out okay. All right. Now I'm going to extrude that, and I'm not going to quite go all the way to here because I only want it to be a circle for a little while, a little ways. So let's go ahead and finish our sketch and extrude this. We're going to go the other direction. Let's see what. Yeah, that's going to be about what I want right there. Make it 0.2. Now it's going to become a new part because it's not touching, and that's okay. We can put them all together in a little while. All right, so I've got my end of my arm, I got my top of my arm. Now we're gonna loft these together, and we're gonna use this line that we made as a path. So I'm gonna choose loft. My first profile is going to be this. My second profile is going to be that. And whoa, right now it's doing this, but I want to go along a path, which is this and that. And it should blend them together. It's doing some kind of weirdness with this that I don't like, but at least it works. Okay, and we're going to add it. Nope, doesn't want to add it. It's just going to make new. That's okay. We can join them together in a moment. So, okay. I wish it didn't have that little twist. But it does. Maybe if we went with an ellipse in the first place, it wouldn't have done that. Instead of making that weird fold. All right, with that said, I think what I'll do is I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to go back and just do an ellipse. Well, I can do this. You can speed up the video if you don't. I'm going to just delete that. I'm going to go way back up to my original sketch or my original extrude. And I'm not going to do that second part. I'm just going to do the ellipse. All right. Now let's see what happens if I do a loft. Oh, now it doesn't like, oh, there's nothing to fill it, so I can delete that. Pay attention to your browser. Make sure there's nothing red showing up because that can create a problem. All right, let's go ahead and loft again. Here to here. Oh, my goodness. Let's try a path. Go from there to there. And now it's wanting to flip it all around. Let's say we want it tangent to profile. Match tangent. Maybe play around with this a little bit. Match curvature. Let's see. Let's try. Boy, I'm not sure why it's not wanting to do that. Maybe if I reduce my extrusion a little bit, let's make this a little smaller. There we go. Let's see if that changes anything. Go from here to there. Yeah, it still wants it to flip around, and I'm not sure why that is. So I'm going to start playing around with this and see if I can get it to not flip around. All right. Well, that is very interesting. I have an idea of how to fix this. I think part of the problem is that mathematically, it's taking something that's too long, and this is saying that it's closer to that point, I think, which is why it's flipping around. So I have an idea. Let's see if we can do another plane on this end. Point normal again. And it should have given me a plane. I could have done an offset, I guess. Okay. And I'm going to turn off the visibility of this plane. Okay. And here's what I'm going to do with this. First of all, I'm going to need to turn off the visibility of the part because I don't want to see it. All right. So let's go ahead and sketch on this plane that we just made. And I'm going to draw, I want to make sure that I'm looking at this way. And I'm going to draw another ellipse there. That is getting away from the circle more towards an ellipse. And I think if I loft twice, let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to turn back on the visibility of the part. And I think I might be able to make this happen now. So I'm going to try it. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to loft from there to there. All right, that looks good. I want it to be tangent. There we go. Well, that's not exactly what I want. Match tangent. That's what I want. Okay, that's really interesting. Now, and we'll see how that goes. Oh, and then I can go a third one. Okay. That's starting to look really bizarro. So I don't want to match tangent. Let's just say we want none and see how that works. Oh, bizarro. Let's see how that goes. Match curvature. Now it looks like Popeye's arm. All right. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I think I'm going to do just one at a time. Do my loft from here to here. Okay. And I'm going to do another loft from here to here and hope for the best and hope it doesn't flip. Boy, it's doing that weird flip again. No, I think what I'll do is I will loft this. Whoops, I don't want the vertex, I want the face. But this time I am going to go along a path. Well, I'm going to go to here, but I'm going to go along that path. doesn't like it. Let me try that one more time. Go loft from this face to that face, but I'm going to go along a path of that path. Still doesn't like. Boy, I'm hating how this is working out. All right, folks. Well, this is going to turn into a long video about how we're going to do this, and what we're going to do to sweep this. Okay. Let me try this again. I think I'm going to get rid of this loft and this loft and this loft. And we're going to try that again. I'm going to ignore this guy in the middle. We're going to see if we can sweep it along the path or loft it from here to here. And this time I'm going to go along a path. I'm going to go along that path and that path. Yeah, still wants to twist. Bizarro. All right. Solutions. Think I might have another idea. All right. Here's my other idea. Whoops, I don't know what the heck just happened here. All right. Here's my other idea. I'm going to get rid of this sketch. And I think I'm going to sweep now this guy along this path to that point. And now we'll try and do the loft. All right. Let's see what happens if I choose tangent to profile. I don't like that. Let's make it normal. All right, that actually turned out pretty good. Now, because it's gotten skinnier down here, I'm going to go back to my sketch where I made that circle and just make it a little bit bigger. Oh, let's try 0.175. A little bigger, see how that looks. Yeah, I like the way that looks now. All right, so overall, that was a way long path to get here. I don't even know how long this video is at this point. Hopefully you didn't get too bored. And now I am going to, first of all, Boolean these parts together and union them. I'm going to put the 2, 3, and 2 to 1. Part 2 to 3. Boolean them. And then parts 2 to 1 and Boolean them. We should have one part. So I'm not sure why it doesn't want to put those all together for me. Let me try that again. There we go. All right, so one part. Cool. Now, last thing we're going to do is we're going to create a shoulder. Well, it's not the last thing. There's a couple more things we're going to do. We're going to sketch on here. View normal to sketch plane. I need to make a line from the top to the bottom where those little squares show up. And I'm going to rotate or revolve. Why isn't that creating a... That should create a... Maybe I needed to project. Oh, I know what I needed to do. I needed to project the edges. There we go. Now I'm going to be able to revolve. Why isn't it wanting to pick a profile? Let me choose this as the revolve axis and choose. That's okay. We can revolve that all the way around. And we want to go full. We want to go around this edge. Okay, boy, I'm having all sorts of issues with this guy. So let's make sure I've got a profile. I've got a profile there. Maybe I can take that profile and revolve. All right, around that axis. So I don't know why it wasn't doing it before. Again, find a different way. If I chose the profile first. All right, cool. And there's the shoulder. All right, now, a couple more things. We got to put the hole in here. And we're going to make it so that the arm sticks out a little bit. So we're going to have to make a new plane, and I'm going to use a plane that has a slicing tool that goes through the shoulder to give us a spot where it can hook up to the side. So here's how I think I'm going to do that is I'm going to, first of all, turn off things I don't want to see anymore, like this plane. Okay, I'm going to make a new plane. I'm going to make line and angle. So we're going to use this line, and we're going to go at a bit of an angle. Let's see if we can look at this. Okay, I'm going to go straight on. And so if we look at that angle at approximately 90 degrees, that's how much it's going to stick out from the body, which is, if I keep going with that, not quite that much. I'm going to go a little bit less, maybe a little more like so. Just a little more. Let's go like 84 degrees. That'll be 6 degrees off. Should work. We could go back and adjust it later on. Now, right now, that's actually about what I want because this plane is slicing through the shoulder right at about the point where I want to do that. If it wasn't, I would create another offset plane from that plane to slice this. So we're going to now split this thing. Where is split? Patterns, mirrors, Boolean, there it is. I'm going to split this, and we're going to use, this is the part I want to split. The entity I want to split with is, well, let's go here. I want part 1, and the entity I want to split with is that tool right there. Check, and then we're simply going to delete part 2. And this will create that flat face. Perfect. Where I want that to go. Now, on that flat face, we're going to sketch. And I want the center point of this arc. So I'm going to project this guy. And somewhere in there is going to be my circle. I need the center point of that arc. I'm not sure why it would. That's okay. I can make it concentric with a concentric constraint. So I'm going to make my little guy, which is, I think I'm going to go 0.125. Okay. And then I'm going to use my concentric constraint. Concentric that. And, why I want it? And that, and that. I want concentric, and I want that, and I want that. Oops, maybe I have to choose the arcs. Okay, don't yell at me. It can only be added to circles, arcs, loops, and some points. Yeah, I heard you. Let's try that again. I want to choose, it's not letting me do that. That is really interesting about why it's not letting me do that. Let me try and see if I can use, let's use the outside of that. All right, should be able to say I want concentric between, so it's not letting me do that. But it will let me put, I can project that point and then do a coincident constraint between that point and that point. There we go. All right, maybe that was a better way of doing that anyway. And we will extrude that to 0.125 to give us a pivot point. Now, finally, I'm going to put a hole in here where the little clawish thing that they have is going to go. So we're going to sketch on here a circle. And 0.125 will work. All right. And finally, we will extrude that inward. And we're going to remove it to 0.125. All right, fantastic. And we have an arm. Can turn off stuff that I don't want to see anymore, like sketches and planes and things and origins. All right, still have some sketches on somewhere. Sketch 2 is on. All right, looking good. If I want to turn on shaded without edges, see what that looks like. It's looking all right. Not quite exactly what I'd hoped, but it's pretty darn close. So I'm happy with that. All right, so now I'm going to make another part so that we can use either one of them in an assembly, and we're going to make a claw, or we're going to make the claw in a minute. I'm going to make the other arm, so I'm going to mirror, and I'll mirror a part. Actually, I'm going to create an offset plane first. Doesn't really matter where it is, just as long as it's not touching that. And we're going to mirror this whole part. The entity I want to mirror is part 1, and the plane is going to be this plane. And it's going to be a new part. I want it to be a new part. Cool. So now we have the arms that we can use in an assembly later on, which we will do in just a minute. All right, so there's the arms. The next one will be the hand. All right, so I hope this one worked out. Long video. Hope you were with me. Enjoy. See you next time.